What is going on, guys? Welcome back here to another post-game show on Rangers Central. And the Rangers beat the Pittsburgh Penguins 7-4 in game 67 of the regular season. What a chaotic game this was. This is one of those games where you feel weird. You feel weird after it because it's the type of game where you're happy they got the win, but you want to see them play some sort of semblance of a defense against a Pittsburgh Penguins team that has been piss poor. The fact that they allowed that power play unit to convert disgusts me as well. But I do like the fact that their offense actually did explode today and actually got on the scoring sheet a lot, especially against a goalie like Tristan Jarry who blows. So it was nice to see them capitalize on the chances that they got. They did have a couple good transition plays. The passing was beautiful on those transition plays too. But there were times too where they were careless with the puck, where they're trying to force east-west plays. There were times where they were trying to force the stretch pass too much through the neutral zone. There were things that I loved. There were things that I despised. But that's pretty much the nature of this game. But I'm just sitting somewhere in the middle about it because of the fact that I know that this type of effort doesn't fly when it's crunch time and when it's playoff time. So there needs to be things cleaned up, and they have to turn around not even 24 hours later and play the Islanders tomorrow, which that won't be easy considering the Islanders are going to be the team that didn't travel, considering they are the team that is coming off a loss too. And they're going to be hungry for these points. They are really hungry for points right now, considering the fact that they're in a dogfight right now for a wild card spot. And then on top of that, the Rangers are played a 3:00 game. They have to turn around and play 1 tomorrow. It is the game, right? The Islanders, it's 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock turnaround. So the Rangers have to be ready. They have to be ready. There's no excuse. This is the NHL. You got to be ready to go. And Igor's going to be in gold next game. And you cannot play this type of defense in front of him. I can tell you that right now. Granted, again, he's better than Quick, obviously. But there needs to be some semblance of a defense compared to what they gave today, because that third period was the Jonathan Quick show, and I'm very grateful for the effort he gave in that third period, but he should not be relied upon that much. And I'm sure that Laviolette's going to say the same thing in his post-game presser. And Adam Fox, too, even said it at the end of the game when he was doing the interview with Emily Kaplan, like, yeah, I mean, we had a solid first period. Not the best second, but a solid one too. But the third period allowed way too much pressure in their own end. And that's the thing that really aggravates me, is that how many times have I sat here complaining about them inviting too much pressure in third periods? And then when they did actually take notes and look at the way they played in that third period against St. Louis, they were playing such simple hockey, a simple brand of hockey. And that's what got them the W. And that's just what their DNA started to become. And that's why I said I was starting to buy in. I was starting to believe. And now these past two games, especially today, well, more so the Tampa game, I should say, you just got to be way more crisp in the D zone, way more crisp. But we're going to talk more about the game. Before we do, leave a like here on the post-game show if you enjoy it. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're Ranger fans, and turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live on the channel next. But in terms of the way the first period went, they started off brutal to begin with. They allow a 2-on-1 off the rip. Then they allow a goal from the point from Ludwig, and the traffic in front, nobody goes to clear that up. Miller had a bad step up there on that play. Jones just lets Noel Acciari screen Jonathan Quick, but the Rangers responded right after. Their third line with beautiful work, which people were not happy about Cooley being taken off that line, which he ended up being back on there by the end of the game. My take on that is Will Cooley, in my opinion, has been underwhelming lately, and I like Will Cooley a lot. And this is not me saying that he's not going to be a key piece for this team going forward, but he's been up and down lately, and I thought it was the right move, and it worked out right away. Wenberg gets in on the forecheck. Jimmy Vesey comes in for some puck support, and then he gets it over to Kakko in front to tie the game up. Then it's 2-1 not long after as the Rangers come in. Trocheck with a nice little back feed to Panarin, gives it over to Fox, and then right in front, a beautiful just drag across, and then he backhands it, rips a backhander, 2-1 game. But then Pittsburgh gets some pressure. Rangers have to kill off a penalty. And that penalty kind of gave the Rangers momentum. The Rangers started to get some quality shifts. Their second line had a very good one. They drew a penalty of their own. And the power play didn't do anything outside of allow really a shorthanded chance. Pittsburgh would tie the game up because Panarin's trying to be too cute at the blue line. Penguins get pressure. They get a long shift in the offensive zone. Schneider goes out of position. And he's just puck watching, just talking to Trocheck right in front of the net. They're just having a casual conversation while Brian Russ is at the doorstep, and Sidney Crosby is not going to miss that pass, and that ends up making a 2-2 game. I don't like the rebound quick left before that, because on the initial transition play, there was a shot. He left out a juicy rebound. Maybe that's avoided then, but regardless, 2-2 game. Then Raquel gets a chance, but the Rangers did make it 3-2. Great stick positioning by Keandre Miller. Then they go up the ice in transition, a 2-on-1. Vinny Trocheck with a beautiful saucer pass to Panarin. He taps it in, and that makes it a 3-2 game. Then the Rangers continued just to get pressure from that second line, and I thought the first period was okay. It could have been better. It was Jekyll and Hyde. They started off poor. They looked pretty good at points, and then it was kind of just even out, where there was no one really creating sustained offense, though, for the Rangers outside of that second line, which I didn't like. They were poor with the puck, and their neutral zone defense was terrible. It was way too easy for Pittsburgh to get through the neutral zone. And I do like, though, that when they were in their own end, Pittsburgh hemmed them in their own end. The Rangers did a better job of keeping shots away. But again, got to be better than that. The second period, they weren't really better than that. That's the issue. Fox goes off for a penalty early, and then there was another penalty that the Rangers ended up having to kill off there. They got a couple shorthanded looks, which was nice. I don't know what Kreider's doing when he has a breakaway chance passing the puck there, but then Miller makes a bad turnover. Quick has to make another big stop, and then they get another shorthanded chance, and then they get more from Schneider and Trocheck, who had like two in a row there. And then Miller leaves Crosby at the door open. Quick keeps that out somehow. And then just bad defense yet again. And the Rangers would take another penalty. Will Cooley it was. And it was a 3-3 game. Fox couldn't clear the puck out. He got shaken up on the play. And then just easy passes for Pittsburgh there. And Eller's open right at the doorstep. I don't understand what Lindgren's doing there. And I'm not going to say that Jonathan Quick, it's his fault, because those passes can't get across, but he was playing a little too far out of the crease there, in my opinion, for that goal. But then the Rangers did actually get some pressure going towards the end of the second. Jones hits the post. The fourth line got their first quality shift of the game, and they drew a penalty on it. Would have liked to have seen them be a little more noticeable. I think Adam Edstrom has to play next game. There's no way you can't play him next game. You have to play him over Johnny Brodzinski. Simple as that. There's no question about it anymore. But the Rangers would get two power plays here at the end. They'd get a goal. Fox would fire it on goal. The rebound is loose. Kreider gets it over to Panarin. He comes crashing in and scores. And Letang got an unsportsmanlike after. I don't know how, but the Rangers would score again as in transition, Mika to Panarin to Kreider, back to Mika at the door and in. And then the Penguins got some pressure at the end, but I didn't love the period. I thought the second period was okay. I mean, it was definitely worse than the first. At least the first period. They generated more chances. The second period, not really. And they allowed a lot of pressure in their own end. But again, it was the same story, where too much east-west play, too much poor play in the neutral zone. Their transition game was all right, but they need to be a lot better. And the third period was the worst period of the game. Third period was easily their worst of the game. And funny enough, they win the game. Makes no sense to sports sometimes, but it happened. Breakdown after breakdown. Bunting gets a chance in front. Eller gets a shot glove. And then another guy at the doorstep. Thankfully, they fan on the shot. Then guys out of position again. Raquel denied right in front. Then Pedersen comes crashing in, almost buries one. The Rangers would make it 6-3. Somehow Keandre Miller's shot gets through. Credit Vinny Trocheck for the screen there, but also Tristan Jarry's stupidity. I don't know why he's dropping there on a shot from the point. Maybe he thought Trocheck was going to deflect it in. I don't know. But it would be 6-4 then after, as a poor play there by Fox, and then Lindgren just reads his play so poorly. If you're going to play the pass, you got to commit to the pass there on that odd man rush. And then that ends up going into the back of their net. They continue to allow pressure, and they continue to allow quality chances, but they get the empty netter, Chris Kreider, and that's the game. So just a wild one, where They didn't play good defense, and they gotta clean that up. But you take the W for what it is. You take the 2 points because you need it if you want to win the division here at this rate. So, especially because Carolina ended up winning their most recent game. Now they have a game in hand on the Rangers, but doesn't mean much if they don't win it. But you're at 92 points on the year now. Gotta be better though. Gotta be better in your own end. But the offense would love it if they could find a way, especially the second line, to continue that type of offensive effort. Outside of that, they didn't get much offensive pressure or production. Not necessarily production, more so just because they did get production. They didn't get a lot of sustained offensive zone time from any of the other lines, really. I don't know. That's something that needs to change too. The fourth line was pretty much invisible outside of that one shift I mentioned. And outside of that, it was either they were taking a penalty or they weren't doing really a whole lot of anything. So they need to be better. The third line, they started off good. Didn't really notice them since. The first line had a couple good shifts, mostly in the first period, kind of tailed off. The defensive unit as a whole tailed off completely. Nobody was really good defensively. So, again, that needs to change. I think Chad Ruedel should get a game maybe, but probably won't happen. It sucks because Schneider, I was raving about his play. He had a really poor game, in my opinion. Lindgren raved about his play recently. Poor game. Fox did a lot of good things on the offensive side. Defensively, though, after the first period, second period, he was shaky. So, got to be better. Got to be better. And again, don't know how you're going to do it in less than a 24-hour span to play the Islanders. So, got to figure that out somehow. And then I still think they play then they play every other day for 3 games after tomorrow, and then they get 2 days off between the Florida game and the Philly game. Sorry, I need coffee in my system here. But yeah, schedule's not in your favor, but you got to find a way. You got to find a way to work around it and develop these good habits that we saw in those 3 games. We saw that it's there. But I digress. I'm going to get to the chat. Before I do, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't. Also, purchase your Cardiac Ranger shirts. There was another Cardiac Rangers affair, so why not? Good to see the offense rolling and power play back on track. But that defensive play, especially the turnovers, need to be better. It's not a sustainable way to play like this in the playoffs. Quick was also great. Agree with everything you said there, Anthony. Agree with everything. W, like the offense, but that was an awful defensive performance. Rangers need to get back to playing shutdown defense like they were 2 games ago. Quick kept them in the game in the third period. Yeah, they absolutely need to be better in their own end. And that's the thing that annoys me. I'm like, all right, well, they played a shaky second period, especially. Just play a good shutdown third, and that changes my whole mood of the game and has me fired up. Now I'm kind of just like, I'm happy they got the win. I'm very happy about it, but I'm sitting here like, all right, well, is this going to be a thing that we have to worry about, that some nights they just simply won't end up shutting down in the third period? Like, they won't play good shutdown thirds. Some nights they will, and it's a wild card. I mean, that's pretty much been my issue, is inconsistency with this group at times. But again, yeah, I love that Miller scored too, but the giveaways that just some of these giveaways, that's what I always refer to when I say that he sometimes just makes peewee hockey mistakes. You cannot be giving the puck away the way that you do at will. Yeah, I didn't like Kreider's game, and I literally said it at the end of the game too, that when he scored the empty netter, I was like, yep, stat pads. Matt could back that up. I texted in the group chat. I'm like, of course, Kreider's stat padding. I also thought Roslovic had an invisible day too, and I've loved what Roslovic has brought. And this is not me saying that I'm worried about. He wasn't really no winning. That's really all it is. Yeah, I don't understand why Kreider can't forecheck sometimes. He doesn't need a lesson on how to break the puck out is right. Don't know who makes the schedules, but stupid. Just stupid. We'll see about the Truba narrative. I don't like Jacob Truba personally. I'm not a Truba guy, but we'll see. Maybe we see Ruedel. I'd like to see Ruedel and Edstrom because my whole argument is the schedule's not in your favor. Why not get fresh bodies in the lineup? I don't see the harm in it. And I get that you won this game 7-4. Does it really hurt to give guys a bit of rest too? I like I don't know, maybe just Gustafson. Maybe it's hard to justify Jones because I like Jones' game lately, but you gotta get just fresh bodies in there, even if it's someone that's a regular in this lineup. Schneider had a poor game. Listen, sit him in the press box for a game, not as a message of you played poorly, but more so the fact that we just want to get a fresh body in here. Just take the day off and get some rest. I'd like to see the fresh bodies in with him and Edstrom, especially Edstrom. There's no rhyme or reason why Edstrom shouldn't have been in the lineup today, even with how poor the fourth line performed last game. They're missing Rempe big time. Yeah, no identity with this team. It's a different team game to game. You're right. And that's what worries me. Nice to see Kako play physical. Agree. Yeah, they did hit the post a lot too. Take the W, but what are we going to do about this decor? They're allowing too much to the opposition. I don't even know. I don't even know. You're new to YouTube? Well, welcome. Welcome here, Dan. Rangers got to put some more nails in the fish sticks coffin tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow could be a huge game for them in terms of just mentally beating down a rival. Granted, I don't think the Rangers and Islanders are as big as rivals as fans make it out to be. I still think it's a overrated rivalry. Might be a hot take, but that's just me. And I know that some fans that watched when it was in its peak, they'll say that it was great back in the day, but like let's be honest here, over the past 10 years or so, that's kind of been dull, especially the past like 5 years. It's kind of been a dull rivalry, in my opinion. I get that, Chris, but you want to see them play better defensively. Agree. Gotta get gotta get Edstrom in there for Brodzinski. Yeah, easily Rostovic's worst performance. Not worried about him though. Like make his game off the puck though. I agree with that. With he was somehow worse with the puck than off the puck. Truba played great at the beginning of the year. Bad recently. I'm hoping that the rest will help him and maybe he sucked because of injuries. Gotta hope. I could agree with that, Jacob, because we saw last year too, even where he was incompetent in the first half of last season, where he had that nagging injury, which I didn't buy, but I did once he started to play a little bit better. Not more than a little bit. Like he was at least competent down the stretch last year. Don't get me wrong. I still don't think he was great. Obviously, not $8 million worth, but he at least played solid defensively and just solid in general. And that was because of an injury. Let's hope that that's the case. That this is gonna get him the rest up and be better. But yeah, I think they win the game with Igor and net too. Igor's been on a roll lately. I cannot. Sometimes, yeah, it drives me insane. Kreider's decision making at times. That play on the breakaway that he could have had shorthanded. just blows my mind that he passed that up there. And then the other thing that really annoys me too with Chris Kreider, I said at the end of the game, just he's not moving his feet sometimes. In their own end, you're up by two. I get it, but move your damn feet. Move your damn feet. And he basically cherry picked for the empty net goal. Help your team out defensively. Kane's got a few games against the Islanders and Devils down the stretch. Don't know who to root for. I mean, I could tell you personally, the Devils don't bother me as a playoff threat right now. If I eat my words, I eat my words. I've been wrong a lot, so maybe well, they're losing right now, the Coyotes. So if they win that game, then you guys could clown me. But I don't know. I'd rather the Rangers get home ice personally. To me, I care more about the Rangers playing good than the downfall of the Islanders and Devils. Yeah, I know fan wise it's exciting, but I just think the games themselves kind of are underwhelming compared to what the rivalry should be. Coach will address the defensive help from the forwards tomorrow. Hope you all enjoyed the goals today because tomorrow will be a 1-0 or 2-1 game. I could see that. I could see that. I mean, if they win 1-0 or 2-1, play good defense, I'm very happy. Yeah, the Rangers did get chased from the face-off dot a lot. That too. That too just annoyed me. Yeah, and both teams look poor defensively. That and then when the Islanders were actually like playing well under Barry Trotz, the Rangers were just not playing good hockey. Then they were in their rebuild. Like there was one year that 2019-2020 season, there was kind of a bit of a spark and fiery with the rivalry. But I go into the game tomorrow. Probably not. Probably not unless somebody invites me for free, which will not happen. So, because why would I get invited for free when these tickets are outrageous? So, unless someone does invite me for free, I would say that I'm probably not going to go, unfortunately, because I want to hit up mostly playoff games. Yeah, if Kreider put in an effort all the time, could be Kreider the glider. I wouldn't hate the idea of Rempe on the second unit. I'd be interested in seeing that maybe. How much are tickets at MSG? Um, like the cheapest you're looking at probably is 150 a ticket just to get into the building, and that's with an obstructed view. Right now, I'm looking on TickPick, link in the description if you want to use it. Cheapest ticket is a standing row ticket, 176, and then you have obstructed view seats. The cheapest like non-obstructed view seat is, and that's not standing row, is 188. That's the cheapest one to get into the building. So I'd love to go, but I unfortunately will not be going to the game. Maybe I'll hit up the game against the Jets. That game's not much money. There's a couple of games that aren't too expensive that maybe I'll sneak in one more regular season game before the year ends. We'll see. Yeah, that's why Ranger fans are always traveling. It's literally cheaper to travel to places locally like Pittsburgh, New Jersey, or going to UBS Arena. It's so much cheaper to travel to these places and buy tickets versus going to the Garden. It's I could go on a whole rant about that if I really want to. Just ridiculous though. Just ridiculous. Yeah, I guess you could argue that for a Sunday game at 1 against the Islanders, 188 isn't bad. Could be worse. That's fair, but I don't know. To me, that's not worth it just because I get that's a rivalry, but and it's a St. Patrick's Day type game, but to me, it's not worth 188. Like, I'd rather wait and spend that on the playoffs. That's why a game like Winnipeg, maybe I'll go to that just because it's not that much money. Exactly, and then you make a little vacation out of it too. Granted, the one game that I went to on the road this year was Buffalo, and not a whole lot exciting about Buffalo. So I'll leave it at that. But I did go to the Maple Leafs opening night game this year too. Toronto, I they get two thumbs up for me. I love Toronto. I want to go back there because I didn't even really get to experience it that much because I literally turned around from Toronto to go to the Rangers opening night game the next day. So Toronto, I definitely want to go back to and explore it more. I saw the Hockey Hall of Fame. I went to the home opener. So I'd like to go back for sure. Yeah, that's fair, Matt. 300 per Rangers at Coyotes or Coyotes at Rangers? Because I know that with Mullet Arena, they raised the price. Yeah, I agree, though. Like, it is fun to be at the Garden and have experience, but I do, playoff wise, yes. But for a regular season game, I'm kind of team going on the road now. Kind of team going on the road, which I do need to go to more road games. I was gonna go to Carolina this year. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. Next year, I'll probably try to go to Carolina. Mullet. Okay, yeah, yeah. I need to see the Hall of Fame again, especially because that was before Lundqvist was in the Hall of Fame. So I got robbed. I got robbed. Yeah, I agree that Kreider and Mika need to be broken up if they don't go far this year. Yeah, I don't like the air horn that they play, but I do need to see those two arenas because I do want to see as many arenas as I could. Mika and Casper should be split up anyway. I agree with you guys. You guys know that I've been beating that drum for a while. Come to Washington. I could do that. I definitely could do that. Was it this weekend or next weekend? I think it's next weekend. I was thinking about doing it's not going to happen, but I thought about it. Maybe next year I'll do something like this. I was going to go to 4 games in 48 hours where it was I think Islanders Jets in the afternoon this upcoming Saturday. Rangers Panthers at 8 o'clock. So not a big travel. And then there was an afternoon game between the Capitals and the Jets. So I was going to go to Washington and I was going to go to Philly to catch the night game. I thought about doing that. That like fell so perfectly that scheduling. Unfortunately, not going to happen. I haven't been to Raleigh, so I can't really say much. But Nick he likes North Carolina. He's my co-host of my podcast. He lives down there. He likes North Carolina in general. Not sure his opinion specifically of Raleigh, but I know that he likes living down there. Seattle's another one I want to go to. Would love to go to Seattle, especially because that arena looks beautiful. I do want to go to Mullet before it becomes extinct, but don't know if it's gonna happen. Yeah, better than better than West Virginia. Oh my god. Context to that for people that don't know. When we stayed at the Airbnb in New Jersey for the outdoor game, it was Matt, myself, Joey from Ice Cold Takes, Nick, his fiance, and then his brother, who's made a few appearances here on the channel. We were staying at an Airbnb in New Jersey, and Nick was driving up from North Carolina, and their car broke down in West Virginia, and they were can't blame them. They were not happy to say the least. But yeah, I do want to. If the Rangers play the Islanders in the playoffs, that's going to be interesting to see what the situation looks like with how many Rangers fans are going to invade UBS. Because if we invade Carolina the way that we did as a fan base, oh, we're invading UBS. We're invading UBS. Mullet's walking distance from my place. Oh, that's great. Yeah, I need to go to Mullet. I really do. But then I'm also gonna want to go back there if they get a new building. Hopefully they do, because I know Matt from the AZ Sports Guy channel would love that. And for someone like him, I'm hoping that the Coyotes stick around. But I am gonna wrap things up here. I'm sorry for keeping it short again. Do have to head out tomorrow. Maybe will be a longer post game. I do need to get a podcast episode at some point going to. So, yeah, Tampa's another arena that I do want to go to. Set up coming out next season with Mark and make a whole podcast weekend out of it. Yeah, I could see about that. I mean, the boys and I are probably gonna do another Airbnb at some point. So maybe we'll figure out a stretch of road games to go to. Maybe. I don't know if I could do tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm gonna be very busy, but I'll let you know. I'll let I'll let you guys know. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to leave a like here on your way out if you haven't subscribed. If you haven't as well, on the road to 3K subs. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll see you guys in tomorrow's post game show.